So hearing that you had all those different styles going on at that time, I mean, for me that's insightful because for those of you that don't know, Don's discography is very varied as far as different styles and different types of projects. So I guess I'm curious, when you started doing your own projects, was it a matter that you had some things you wanted to start with first, or maybe, I don't know, talk about some of the way you approached putting out some of those different projects? I mean, right now the recent record you put out is a new gospel quartet, and that's got those influences. But then there was earlier on the Latin stuff, music for six musicians, the klezmer stuff, the hip hop stuff like Alien and New Black Exploitation. So can you talk about just, I mean, having done so much different stuff and done it well, how you kind of artistically tackled getting all that stuff out there? Was it simultaneous or just?
You know, the stuff that Six Musicians, for example, which was my kind of Latin jazz kind of group in a way. It's not really Latin jazz, like,
yeah,
you know, playing monk tunes and, you know, but that really came out of what me and Edsel Gomez and this bass player, we used to try to do Latin jazz stuff around Boston. We played parties and stuff, but, you know, after a while we got into the question of, like, you know, what Jerry Gonzalez was doing at the moment was just playing monk tunes over rumbas. And we started, man, you know, we gotta write some tunes. We gotta write some tunes. That can't be it. We gotta write some tunes. And so we, you know, we would like try to like, you know, like, well, this is, you know, and you know, even one of the tunes that I played on Tuskegee Experiments, that was one of the first tunes that I wrote for that group. It had a little something in it, you know. And but I wrote a whole bunch of tunes just for that kind of group in those school years. So it wasn't an extension, you know, it wasn't a new idea for me, and I actually called a lot of the people that I went to school with to be in it. So I think my first few albums have a lot of people that I went to school with.
Okay. But then at the same time, I'm thinking about a concert I saw you do at the Library of Congress some years back. It's been around the time that your album Arias and Leaders came out. So there's an album that just with the material on it alone are different styles. But on that concert, for example, you playing Stevie Wonder's tune Creepin', but the first set was classical music you had written for, I think, violin and piano.
Yeah.
So again, I just feel like I'm curious still about the cultivation of so many different things. Was it always going on simultaneously, and then choosing, all right, because this album is what I'm going to do now, this is what I'll focus on presenting for a little while?
Well, you know, it really depends on when you can get made. You know, like, I do a lot of albums that I couldn't get made.
Like what?
I had to leave. I couldn't have made the Black Exploitation record at None Such. They would have never made it.
Why?
I think I really left that label just to make that record.
Wow.
And you know, they turned down certain things that I wanted to do. Like when I had my quintet with Smitty and Uri Kane and Kenny Davis and David Gilmour, I wanted to record live at the Vanguard. They didn't want to do it.
Wow.
So we never did. So then we made a live record at the Knitting Factory years after that. But when we were really hitting there, now everybody makes records there, but nobody wanted to do it. It's like, why would you want to do that? Now everybody wants to do that, you know. So there's a lot of things that I wanted to do that I didn't get to do, and there's still things in my mind that I want to get done. And you know, in terms of, you know, kind of writing classical music, I basically work on commissions. You know, like just recently I wrote a clarinet concerto for the wind ensemble at MIT. Not for me to play, but for another clarinet player to play. But you know, it's just a commit. I'm a composer and I get commissions. So, you know, no big deal.
Well, you say no big deal, but the output is just it's pretty amazing. So I don't know. I mean, I guess I understand you saying for you it's just another day. I'm working on a project, but it really is, like I said, it's impressive not just that there's so many different styles, but the thoroughness that's in each one of those and the mastery of each one of them.
Mm.